All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So today we will be looking again at the weed sector, and today was a strong day. All right, it's funny. On the last few videos, I was saying last week was going to be a bad week and this was going to be a good week. I started getting very scared when we were losing some moving averages, all right? That's kind of the theme that was across all of them on my last video. Lo and behold, you can see what happens, all right? And the one thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but I want to talk about it just very quickly. Look, the Dow Jones had a good day today. Okay, it was I know it looks very insignificant, but I mean, if it didn't have today's day, it would have lost the 200 and gone down. And it's been a horrible last few days, all right? Same thing with the SP 500, the SPX, okay? Bad, bad, bad. This one's a little bit easier to see a nicer, bigger candle, right? Again, I'm not going to look at NASDAQ because weed has nothing to do with tech, right? But these doing well matter. Okay, and I do believe that helped bring these back up a little bit. Because again, one more time, as much as I was saying, hey, it looked like we were going to cool off and go back, I didn't believe it. I very much was getting scared for the weed stocks. Today was an important day here. It was a bigger day than it looked like. It ended on CGC. I'm not exactly sure on the exact dollar there. And then HITI, again, I'm so excited to talk about that one. ACB, I think, did all right. I'm not 100% sure. And then Sandal, I'm not too sure. I'm assuming it's going to look like Tilray because that's kind of what it's been doing. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share the video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, giving me conversations, oh man, I can't thank you enough, okay? So let's get into it and let's talk Tilray. Look, you know I'm a lot louder about my mistakes than my right calls, okay? And it's funny because I actually am saying I made the right call and then very much disagreed with it by the time we made today's pop. Like, I'm not pretending what I thought last weekend is what I was ready for today. I was scared, especially on the last few videos, all right? Losing the 200 moving average is not a good thing, all right? We come to it and then lose it on a pretty bad candle. We then get a doji. You know, I always say day after the doji is a very important thing for me, and boom, we gap down under the 50. Okay, I was scared the last time I made a weed video, and I'm not even sure I mentioned, hey, we might have a good week this week, all right? Cause yeah, what happened from up here to down here was too quick and too drastic, okay? Just in case you fast forwarded, this is the one thing I do want to talk about. I feel like it doesn't get talked about a lot on the weed side. Look, the major indices matter, all right? Last week, the Dow Jones did nothing but go down. Okay, if you look at the SPX, the S&P 500, all we did last week was go down. Okay, the fact that this one was good, I don't know if I moved too fast, but the Dow Jones also had a good candle. Like, that matters. Okay, it does. And to me, I don't think you need to look at NASDAQ. Like, we're literally talking about farming here, right? Like, we're growing some crops, we're selling some crops. People just happen to smoke them instead of eat them, right? Edibles aside, obviously, but you get the point. Like, there is no tech in this, so I disregard NASDAQ completely, okay? And for me, just it very much rode the indices, and what it really did was it rode it over these two. You know, I get sad when we're under the 8 moving average. Under the 8 moving average is bad, but I think I'm gonna give a good amount of weight to getting over the 50 and the 200. I am, okay? What do I need tomorrow? Tomorrow, obviously, I need to get back over the 8 moving average. And really what I would love, damn, that's, where are you? Okay. Yeah, okay. What are you? 263, what are you? 266. Look, I'll be honest. Give me 266. I would love for this to close at 266. What it would do is confirm that we've broken those two. It would take the 8 moving average, and it would hopefully set up an attempt for the 20 come Wednesday. All right, 266 is that magic number. I clicked a little too high. That's where I got it from. If we get 263, I would be okay with it. I would. We're still over the 8 if you're looking back to the right, I think, at least back over here. But yeah, 263 at least puts us over the 8, at least will help me kind of confirm this, but more than anything, it'll help me still anticipate breaking that, all right? But volume not quite there, RSI not quite there. Hey, MACD didn't slip deeper into the negative. I'm kind of seeing, I'm like, my face is on my screen right now. It kind of looks like the green line's under the dash. I think if we had an extra decimal, we might see it under the dash. That said, again, I'm going to say it one more time. You know, I do not like when things are under the 8 and the 20. That's generally very, very bad for me, okay? That said, I think reestablishing these two, again, on a single big, nice candle especially, I think I'm going to say good job, Tilly. And I think I'm going to say give me the 8 tomorrow. You did enough today. All right, where are we after hours? Just hold. Oh, wow, we're going up. Going up is even better than holding. Again, you know, after hours don't mean much to me. They have completely different rules, different volumes. There's so much that's different with it. But that's comforting to see. Look, I do not want to go lower than 250. All right, 251 is actually what the 200 is. You can see it in the box over there. And then 248 is the 50. It looks like the 50 is still going up, right? So in my head, come tomorrow's candle, both of them are probably going to meet right here. We cannot go any lower than 250. And like I said, we want to get into the 260s, going 263 or hopefully 266. All right. So Tilly, great recovery. I don't care about a single day because look, I'm not trying to ignore that we're under the 8. We can very easily come to the 8, then slap back down, then slap back down, right? So this is still moving down. You know I don't like that. Interesting to see that the 20 is actually still going up. Again, you know I don't know the math behind these lines at all, right? Like, I'm not here pretending I'm some sort of math genius or any silliness like that, right? I'm just looking at the line, seeing if we're over or under, and making some moves from there, right? So Tilly, very, very good job. Very, very still need more. All right. I didn't look at the weekly. I almost moved on. Look, the weekly did an important thing. All right. Again, though, today's Monday. We still got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the weekly candle ends, right? I'm glad we're trying to get closer to 50% candle. Right? We're not there yet. We're still only down here. That's probably closer to like 33%, right? Rough numbers. That looks like 1/3. That looks like 2/3 up there. This is the number again. Look, where is it meeting? 270. 269 and 270 are basically the 8 and the 50 moving average dollar points. We need to get to 271 or higher by Friday. Okay, and I don't care if you do it on Thursday and close out. Like by Friday and on Friday, we need to be over those two lines, or we're simply going to be under them, and that's going to be a little disappointing going into next week. But again, I'm sure I'm going to do another weed video by between now and Friday, and we'll review that again. But for now, this is a very important day-to-day chart. Tomorrow needs to do good things. I'm really happy, like I said, to see the candle still going up. But hey, even the going up is still under the 8 moving average, right? So just again, the 8's a big one. The 8's a big one, and I am surprisingly deprioritizing it. Again, it's because of these two, right? So let me know your thoughts and opinions. You know I can always be wrong, and I'd love to hear your thoughts instead of be wrong and have the market tell me I'm wrong, right? So let's move into CGC. CGC, okay, I'm going to start by saying CGC had a good day today. CGC made a double-digit gain. I like that CGC opened down here. You can see it in the box over there. It opens at 85 and it goes all the way up to 84. Like that's a good candle. It obviously goes over the 20. Like there are a lot of good, volume looks good, right? Like there's actually a lot of good that I will come back to very quickly. All right. That said, it should have done a little better. All right. And it actually did a lot better. Like, let's look at the box over there. This thing got as high as $1.03. My line was at 104, right? Again, you know, I don't like, my lines aren't here for perfect, right? But this thing actually gets over, because again, I'm going to click back in. The average 8 is at 102. The high of the day, which is the third line on from the top, the high was 103. There were moments in today we were over that 8 moving average. There were moments where, what's the bottom of you right here? Nah, not quite. 106. 106 was that would have been that magic line. Because yeah, all I'm seeing is green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. Hopefully a green, green, green from there to there, right? And some people thought it. I'll be honest with you. I saw it. I did. It made me wonder if I should have been averaging up while that thing was coming down, right? So, you know, it's one of those things. Look, we're still over some moving averages. We're definitely in the middle, right? Like top is up here, bottom is here. These three are roughly kind of in the middle, especially these two actually, right? So in terms of the like moving average spacing versus where we're at this very moment, you know, we're in the middle of the tornado, right? I don't know if we're going to just be kind of going to the top, coming to the bottom, going to the top. Like that's what happens when all 5 of these start getting tight and going. Like the goal is get over the 200, obviously, right? And it's going to start with getting over the 8. That's basically what we're looking for tomorrow. And I kind of mentioned the number earlier. If you look on this big Monday candle, the open was 106. Like that's what I'm looking for tomorrow. I need 106, 107. Because what did we do today? We took the 20, all right? And you know me, I don't care about a single day. I'm not taking away from the beautiful 12% day, all right? Nope, don't click there. I'm not taking away from smashing the average 50. Normally we're at 56, 57 million. We're at $1.15 today. Like beautiful, right? Still much more positive of a MACD, excuse me, than tilray. Like there are good things. However, again, I keep saying it. Raise your criteria for what good is, okay? The one thing that I think might be worth drawing is I think we now kind of have a trend line here. I think I'll take this to that, up to that, all right? What am I basically doing? I'm going from the bottom of that to basically the corner of that. Again, this thing, there we go. That's a good place to put it. I think this is kind of the line we're looking for, all right? I would very, very, very much hate to see this thing fall into 82 cents. I think 82 cents is going to be a very scary number for CGC because that might bring a quick drop down into this like 71 range basically, right? 70 actually, you can see it. The 100 average is at 70. Otherwise, like I said, I'm looking for 106, 107, 108. Make me believe we've gotten over the 8 moving average. Where does that 104 line coming from? This parallel right here. I'll be honest, I'm actually going to ignore that parallel and I'm just going to put it right here. I think having this 106 number 105, that's actually more annoying than anything because I'm actually trying to get it to 106 to be right there. Cool. Give me that line. Break that line and I'll be happy. Lose this line and I'll be pretty sad and I'll be assuming we're going to come down here, okay? Again, tilray did well. Tilray, I need more. CGC did well. CGC, I need a little more. All right. Let's come into ACB. Interesting. Okay. So here's my first thought. I will be honest. Was I saw that this one was a red day compared to the 2 greens that I saw. This was actually the very first thing that I came to look at. From there, I looked over here and hey, I'll tell you what I see. I see we're still over the 200 moving average. All right. Tilray can't say that. No, sorry, I forgot. That happened today. All right. But you can see we were well under it the last few days. So it can't say it as strongly. I'll at least word it like that. CGC for sure can't say it. CGC is way, way under, right? But hey, ACB has actually maintained the 200 moving average this entire time. That's not too shabby. All right. Again, you know I don't like that we're under the 8. You know I'm happy that we're at least over the 20. I'm obviously happy that we've held, excuse me, this 200 moving average. Volume's kind of the issue. Volume really is. And look, we've had 4 monster days of good. One bad, I'll call this a monster one because this definitely wipes out that one, right? A few of these are going to wipe out this. I guess these two are still holding. There's still a good amount of buying compared to this last little dump off. I think people are still kind of holding more shares than actually like unloading. I think that kind of speaks to maybe the last couple day dojis. I will say this, despite not seeing the big, and look, there were moments of it where it was close. It was actually trying to get to that 8 moving. Like, I think that's at least a common theme across these so far, is these are actually trying to reestablish themselves with the 8 and the 20 moving average. Far too often we see sectors break it and then lose it and then give up. You know what I mean? Like, these are at least trying to hold. Hey, I'm actually surprised that ACB is the one that's trying to hold the 200. You know what I mean? So, again, we saw tilray is like crawling back up over it, hopefully. But yeah, this one's been trying to hold it. So, more power to ACB, and I think that kind of wipes away the negative candle that I saw at first and was sad. But like I said, look, the MACD is more positive than the other ones. I am seeing the green slip under the red. It's not super, super drastic yet, but, you know, we like this. That's beautiful, right? When they go away from each other, they're both over the positive line. Like, that's great, right? So RSI is not taking a bad dip, which is great. The problem is if it takes a bad dip, it can come down to like the 20s or 30s, right? So, you know, I'm glad it's holding at least. But yeah, volume, more, give us a good green day. Give us a good, like, give me like 50 million shares. So like, again, oh, that was way bigger than I was expecting it. I generally use 7 hours. So if I was looking for 58 million in that first hour of trading, hopefully you'll see 8.3 million shares. If you can see that, that probably means volume's not that bad. Or is that, sorry, volume's great actually. And hopefully it's a good buying and going up. All right. So ACB, I'll look at the weekly real quick. It's holding this 50% line pretty well. I don't have one drawn, but yeah, roughly speaking, like my line right now is about at the halfway point. So interesting. All right, again, ACB, I think I see more neutral than I see bad, despite the fact that we're under the 8. So nice. Let's come to high tide. Oh, you're lying. What? It ended at 206? No way. Okay. I saw high tide up here. I started this video being super happy, and again, there are still things to be happy about. And I'm gonna like still highlight those, all right? But oh, I thought today was a bigger day. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to reference a comment that came over the weekend. I had a really lazy weekend. I'm actually very, very sorry. You can blame this industry for that if you really want. Okay. I will say this: if I was never making these videos, if chart readers never existed, I don't think I would have known about high tide, okay? And I think that answers the question in a lot of ways because, yeah, you know, I keep hearing people loving the earnings 3 calls ago, the earnings 2 calls ago, the earnings on the last call, the earnings on this call right here on this day. Like, people loved them in my comment. There were nearly zero, like, I mean, I'm telling you, everyone loved it, okay? The issue is there's not a lot of people that know high tide, all right? Let's just kind of zoom out really quickly, okay? So what am I zooming out for? Actually not up here. I'm zooming out for down here. Because again, volume is king, okay? And on the very, very, very best day of volume from basically this window, we were at 2.9 million shares. Sorry, it took me a while to look at the box over there. I could have just looked at the line because it was pretty close, 2.8, 2.9, okay? Let me even zoom out more. Let's see if there's like a better, yeah, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So this is combined months. So what month was this? February 21. Oh, dude, I think we were there. February 21. Was that this? Was that this day? That was this one. Cool. Okay, we're going to go back to the daily. The daily was perfect. February 21. Oh, that wasn't even February 21. Interesting. Okay, but either way, this is the whole view. This is everything we need to see. I'm so sorry for wasting all that time, okay? So why did I zoom out? Look, high tide on average has been down here at 191K. And what did I do? All I did was, I mean, you can, like, there's a pretty common, this right here, and I'm not even clicking the white line. I think I'm actually below that white line, but like, yeah, just about right here. Yeah, again, 191. I keep clicking the same place. Just about right here, 191, right? Like, that's about the average line. For obviously, there were some spikes, and some of the spikes were up here in the 700s. Again, we kind of started touching those 700s. And then, like I said, we've seen a tube. Okay, that's like high tide story on volume. Let's just go back to the other ones. Tilray, we've got extra zeros on everything. All right. Tilray, again, I always call the king of the sector, and like that's a big reason why. CGC, okay. Again, there are straight zero, and really this one, when I click here, because again, I think I can even maybe go a little lower. Maybe it's like a little closer to like that. Even right there is still 6 point something, 9 point something million, not 100. Like the moral of the story is high tide's volume is just low. I don't think a lot of people know it. Look, that said, this is essentially a red that's ready to go green. And one of the big things I kept saying was once this thing finally gets over the 200 moving average, this thing will do what every other stock does. And you can see it. Once it got, man, the volume started to come, because it's almost like other people have value on this line too. And they were like, oh, wow, we're actually breaking it. Let's actually start coming. And you can see it way more green than red. This one actually outweighs that one. Aside from that, there's so many people now buying and now actually holding. And all we're doing is watching that 8 go up, watching the 20 go up, watching the 50 go up, watching the 100 go up, right? Like that's what happens. You go from these are your scariest, worst enemies of lines to all of a sudden, hopefully you're riding them up. You know what I mean? So these are still my levels, and you can see we actually pretty much wick this line, right? But more than anything, what I love is the break of this. And here's the next thing, okay? Earnings happened here, and earnings was a crazy doji. This is as textbook as it gets. These lines aren't quite 100% like exact, but they're close, right? And man, the day after reaction was horrible, but the confirmation of losing the 8 doesn't hit. And all we basically do is ride it until we can get over this one with a nice candle break. I like that this day finishes above that body. And today, again, I actually thought today was better, but hey, today wasn't horrible. It wasn't. 73 is a little high, but it actually wasn't that long ago. We were at the 85s and kind of living. That's an 81 to 80, 78. Like it's lived. It's lived. I don't know if we're actually going to break the 227. I'm zooming out just to kind of see where it is. Look, I would love for this thing to get to 238. All right. After you get to 238, you cool down on 227 and then you go back up. That's what I would love to see here. But again, more than anything, what's important is day after the doji was bad, we don't confirm down. Instead, we go back over the 8. From there, we just hold and rip, right? Then, like I said, this day closes over this day, which was the earnings. That's beautiful, okay? And then again, Beautiful, beautiful down here. Beautiful, beautiful up here. This is still ain't bad. 73 could be worse, right? So there's a lot to like on this high tide chart for sure. Okay, and this makes more sense why I don't think we're going to break the 227. But yeah, we're coming up to the 100 now. We're coming up to the 100. It's been a while since we've even touched it. And where are you? That'd be so funny if that was the number. No, 241. That's a little higher because I think I said 230 something, 238 or something. 241 is the magic number here. If we can get over 241 and then cool off on 227 and then rip over that, oh yeah, that would be beautiful. So still a lot to like here actually. So 25 minutes. I'm going to give Sandal some love, SNDL. All right, let's come into SNDL. Look, I literally started the video by saying I'm assuming it's going to do like Tilray did. 7% day here, SNDL, 7% day here. This is doing much better comparatively to the 200 moving average. That's a significant difference from Tilray. I did not know that. Good job, Sandal. Nice. You hold you hold the 20 like a champ. You bounce over it and get back over the 8 today. This is actually over that line right there. Are you into this candle as well? No, not yet. But man, get into this, what was it, 209? Get into the 211 range. Ooh, there's a lot to like here. This is a very, very healthy 58. This looks like a MACD that's ready to go back. Today was Sandal might be the strongest one of the 5, actually. It is, because it has the mix of ACB holding the 200 the whole time, the bullishness of the rest, but actually over the 8 and the 20. That's what the others are missing. Sandal, if you waited till the end, hey, you might be looking at the best one here. Yeah, again, sorry, I was just looking and thinking, right? There are a couple things to still confirm. Maybe this could be an interesting alert right here, 214. I think I'm going to set that. I think I'd like to know what happens at 214. This is an interesting chart here. Again, let me just kind of zoom out. Yeah, there's no like crazy gap fill board, or maybe this thing is a little bit, it's kind of the original bit, but we've already filled it twice actually. I don't think that matters too much. I like this one. I actually do. Where's your weekly at? Oh, we got plenty. And again, the difference between this one and high tide is high tide's coming up to a hard resistance. This one's got plenty of room. 71's a little high on the weekly, but we've gotten higher, right? Yeah, 86. What were you here? 68. 73. It doesn't get very much higher. Hopefully we get a nice little pump to 230, maybe 245. That would be cool here. SNDL, I like this chart actually. I do. Hey, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, as always, thank you.